Wouldn't a cold can of Coca Cola be nice on a hot summer day? A man in India thinks otherwise.
Don't you think it would be refreshing to walk the halls at school with a can of Coke? For a child in El Salvador, this is not an option.
Wouldn't it be nice to come back from work and open a bottle of Coke for the family? In Colombia, working for Coke could cause harm to the whole family.
Mi hermano era comisión negociadora y yo era el asesor de la negociación por parte sin primero. Ahí frente a la empresa había un kiosco, que era donde vendían la alimentación y cositas así. Ellos como que llegaron ahí y le preguntaron a otro compañero quién era Isidro. Entonces ahí ya en el momento que salía un carro ya para revisarlo, como a ellos les tocaba revisar el carro surtido, hacer el conteo y todo, abrió la puerta, el carro se parqueó ahí. El carro que arrancó y ellos, antes de cerrar la puerta, se le metieron por el lado de atrás del carro. Enseguida le dispararon ahí. Como igual el tiro que hicieron, fue lo que presentó los dos. Y ya lo dejaron ahí, se fueron campante.
As soon as Coca-Cola's union was formed, the problem started.
All your friends have come and gone, and the sun no longer shines in the
In 2002, 470 unionists were assassinated. Many workers fled before they could be caught. The company has a hit list of people they want to be murdered, and many of those people are family members.
Colombia is the trade union capital of the world and where many human violations occur. It is a common practice for national and multinational corporations and for the Colombian government to murder unionists to increase their profit.
As many of you here today know, our company and our bottling partners have been accused of complicity in the murder of union members and of ongoing intimidation of union members and of the suppression of union activity in Colombia. As the new leader of this company, and I might say as a former student activist, I came to the Colombia issue with an open mind and also with my eyes wide open. I've reviewed the situation, and I, independently, have come to the same conclusion as a Colombian court, as the Colombian Attorney General, and as the extensive investigations conducted by counsel over the years, that the allegations are not true.
The Coca Cola Company denies what is going on and says they are not a part of it. They can get past being fully accused of murder because they never killed the people themselves. The paramilitaries were the ones responsible for it.
The employees who work in the plants are unionized and protected under negotiated contracts, where the truckers who play an important role in transporting the product are not. Those who try to join the union or unionist leaders who speak out against workers' rights could be fired, tortured, or even murdered. There have been many reports of violence against union leaders and organizers in Colombia in efforts to crush their unions. The company does not want the union to grow because then the unions would have too much power.
The Coca Cola Company has 300 bottling partners worldwide, ranging from international and publicly traded businesses to small family-owned operations. A vast amount are not owned or controlled by the company.
¿Qué necesitan para poder trabajar con Coca-Cola?
Primero que todo, el fiador para poder sacar una ruta, que es lo requisito que pide la empresa. Segundo, tener responsabilidad de manejo de la ruta. Responder por lo que pasa en la ruta. A nosotros, si nos atracan, la empresa no responde por nada. Si nos atracan, nos bajaron 300, 400 mil pesos, nosotros no tenemos que poner en nuestro bolsillo. El seguro lo ponemos nosotros, los uniformes nosotros. Todo lo que se gaste en la ruta somos nosotros los responsables de esa plata.
Coca-Cola nos arrienda el camión, les toca pagar el arriendo diariamente. Y así, pagar en base que de pronto se pierda, canastas.
Canastas que de pronto por un descuido se quedaron en algún cliente.
Te voy a hacer la pregunta de otra forma. ¿De qué se responsabiliza la empresa?
De nada.
De nada, realmente de nada. O sea, acá realmente
¿De sus camiones?
sí, porque todos los responsables acá es los que traen en la ruta. Ellos tienen que sacar para todo. Simplemente Coca-Cola no responde por nada.
I think that Coca-Cola as a corporation is disgusting in how they basically treat their employees like crap, and the employees basically are paying out of their own pockets to work for Coca-Cola. And then as a North American, once you find out how they treat their employees, you feel socially responsible not to buy their products and buy into the corporation, but you basically wouldn't be able to do that in our society because Coca-Cola owns just about everything. They own bottled water, for one example, and granola bars, and they sell just about everything. So it would be really hard unless you went out and lived in a forest and survived off the land to not buy into their corporation. And then you just feel like crap every time because all you think about is how is this affecting the people that work for them in other countries and part of the world that are getting killed for wanting rights that we have here.
Strong labor unions are critical to improve wages, working conditions, and human rights for all workers. It can also mean life or death for the workers in places such as Colombia and Guatemala.
Martin Luther King said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Wherever Coca-Cola is, there's also poverty and despair. The world of Coca-Cola is a world of lies, deception, immorality, corruption, and widespread labor, human rights, and environmental abuses.
Do you think the Colombian workers feel the same happiness?
Sugar cut by these children goes to this mill and then ends up here at Coca-Cola's bottling plant in Nahapa to be added to the drink.
I'm easily wounded, and if they're using gigantic knives, I can't even use sharp knives. And I'm their age. If they're using gigantic and sharp knives, they must be like 3 million times as strong as me.
Under the Salvadoran law, 18 is the minimum age for dangerous work. The company is able to use child laborers indirectly by buying their sugar product, which is heavily needed for their beverages, from the sugar mill, Central Izalco. By doing this, they do not own any of the plantations where child labor occurs or buy the sugar cane from them directly.
By doing some research, we were able to find an article documented by the Human Rights Watch about child labor within the Coca Cola Company. The company's own guiding principles provide that its direct suppliers will not use child labor defined by local law. This requirement is applied to Izalco and not the plantation in which it buys it from.
The employees in El Salvador are entitled to certain protections, where the helpers are not, and that is how the plantations can get the kids to work in such a dangerous industry. These kids at the age of 8 years old are using devices such as machetes and are under direct sunlight all day.
if I was in a situation like that, I'm not good with hot in the best of times. They're near the equator, so it's like the hottest day I've ever felt times 10. And that would be like 2,000 degrees in my opinion. But in reality, it would probably be around 75 degrees. But I'm not good with hot, like I said before. And if I had to use big, enormous, sharp knives, I would probably end up hurting myself very badly.
Coke, being a multinational corporation, is behaving differently in countries where they can work around the law. In places such as Canada, this would not be able to happen. A child's rights to go to school have been taken away from them in El Salvador because working in the sugarcane plantations requires them to miss school or drop out entirely. Child laborers may work up to 16 hours each day, sometimes with only 1 or 2 days off each month.
Not only do the kids have their education taken away from them, in which could allow for a better job in the future, they often suffer from smoke inhalations, fatal injuries, and exhaustion from the long days under direct sunlight. The children who are injured in the fields usually have to pay for their own medical treatment, which is quite difficult for the family because an injury means being off work, which means no pay.
Between providing for my family and going to school, I would honestly go with going to school because I love school. I love 99% of it, and the 1% is just the bad food that I get. And I love school, and I think they should get the opportunity to have that same joy.
There are approximately 227,479 working boys and girls in El Salvador between the ages of 5 and 17.
Coke and a smile makes me feel good, makes me feel nice. Have a Coke and a smile, that's the way it should be. I'd like to see the whole world smiling with me. Coca Cola has life, have a Coke and a smile, a Coke and a smile.
Do you think the children in El Salvador exchange smiles like these kids?